Many people are not aware that there is the biggest shift in consciousness happening on this planet right now. Planet Earth and humanity are going through a double dimensional shift in consciousness. Okay, so we're moving from a third dimensional reality into a fifth dimensional reality. We're moving from third to fifth. Okay, the fourth dimension is that bridge, it's that space in between where we have a choice point. Are we going to stay in the third dimensional paradigms, the third dimensional archaic draconian belief systems that we've been living in for such a long time that has caused us a great deal of suffering on this planet? Or are we going to choose to see things differently? Are we going to choose a better feeling? Are we going to choose better thoughts and better perspectives to bring about a better world? So at the minute, I'm sure you can agree that we're witnessing many things unfolding that it seems to be putting the world into a huge amount of chaos. And we've already seen the grumblings of it in the past few years as well, where there's all of these crazy things happening. There's so much misinformation. Nobody knows what's right. Nobody knows what's wrong. Everyone's looking out at the world and going, what a state it's in. Somebody needs to do something. And what humanity is starting to realise now is the power is with us. We have to shift the mind so that the reflection that we see in the outside world changes to a better world. And that is the shift in consciousness that is taking place now. So what happens is, as we move from one frequency to another, one age to another, the things that used to be a system or a structure of the old age has to fall away so that the new age can be fully established. And that is what is happening right now. But the craziest thing of it all is everyone on this planet is going to be fifth dimensional by 2032. So what does a fifth dimensional state of mind feel like? Okay, so the third dimension was separateness, service to self, ego mind, judgments, opinions, fighting each other, looking out at a world and saying somebody needs to do something about it, it's not going to be me. We all work as one unit, guys. The whole of humanity is one, but we all look like we're separate to each other. What we're realizing now is we're shifting through into the fourth dimension, and our awareness is really starting to wake up, is we're saying we don't want to feel like that anymore. We've lived in a world of suffering for long enough. We have to take responsibility for that and change the way we look at it, but we have to do that as one collective. So what the fifth dimensional frequency feels like is there's far more unity. So everybody joins together more. We're not turning on each other anymore because we realise that everybody is a different version of us. So we're starting to treat people with a little bit more loving kindness because we're treating ourselves with more kindness as well. We're starting to become aware of all of the systems and the structures and the narratives that we've subscribed to that haven't served us. We're starting to realise that we have felt powerless for so long, and now we're starting to step into our power. Perhaps you're starting to say no to things when you once said yes, because you're really starting to put yourself first. You know, you're not being horrible. You're just saying, no, I've got to put some boundaries in place here. I don't want to be powerless anymore. We're starting to stand up and say, we want better. And to get better, we have to collectively choose that, okay? We have to collectively choose. So when we see a world that is in war, that is in battle, that is reflection of everything that is happening on the level of the collective mind, which shows us, the mirror is showing us that we are all at war with ourselves. And that has to change. The only way that we can see that change in the world is to shift the way we look at it. But we all have to do that together. So when we move into a fifth dimensional state of mind, everyone will be more harmonious with each other. Everyone will be working as tighter communities with each other. People will be helping each other out more. People won't be judging each other anymore because they'll realise everyone's doing their best and everyone's another version of me. And that fighting and battling something has never been the answer, and now we have to choose again, okay? So by 2032, which is not that far away, that is where the fifth dimensional golden age of Aquarius is going to be fully established on this planet. The transition is already happening now. It started in 2012. There's a 20-year period where that transition happens. And I think unless you've had your head buried in the sand, you can clearly see that there are certain systems, structures, narratives that are starting to fall. And the reason that they are starting to shake and wobble and fall is because they don't match up to a fifth dimensional frequency. They don't match up to the golden frequency, fifth dimensional state of mind that we're moving into. So when you move from one age to another, this happened many times on this earth before, you can't take with you the old things that don't match that new frequency. So the fifth dimensional state of mind, it feels so good, guys. And sometimes we do jump shift into that state of mind. When we feel a lot of joy, when we feel a lot of love towards an animal or a child or another, human being, or we look out at the beauty of the world and we feel amazing and everything looks beautiful and we see the good in things instead of seeing the bad, instead of seeing the negative. Someone helps you and you help someone else. That's all fifth dimensional state of mind, okay? But that's been mixed in with a lot of ego as well, where we've also been fighting with each other as well. So this planet has appeared to go through a lot of suffering because we've been choosing the separateness. So the difference now is that we're starting to choose again. We're choosing differently. What we're saying is, and this is happening naturally because universally this is happening, this jump shift in consciousness, there is an intelligence behind it. The planet herself is also moving into a fifth dimension. In fact, she's already more or less in the fifth dimensional frequency, but the humans are catching up. The humans are starting to catch up. And the other thing this will bring with it, okay, so we'll see a lot of chaos in the world. We're already seeing it right now. And the reason there has to be chaos is because of the order that comes from it afterwards. That is the flux of the universe. Chaos, order, chaos, order, chaos, order. Okay. So you're going to start to see this ramp up a lot. And the reason I'm making this video is because I feel like it's really important that if you understand that there's a natural shift going on in intelligence, in consciousness, that you will start to understand and be able to accept a little bit more why everything looks the mess that it does at the minute. But try not to focus on the mess too much, because when you focus on the mess and you focus on the fear, you keep perpetuating it. You keep bringing it through to every now moment. Okay, we're moving into a new world that will look nothing like it's looked before. Unimaginable possibilities. But don't bring with you the clutter and the systems and the narratives that didn't serve us, that doesn't serve us, that maybe served us in the old paradigm as we were learning about ourselves, about our separate individual selves. Now we're moving into more of a heart-based frequency that says, I am you and you are me, and I will treat you with kindness. And as I treat you with kindness, that kindness will get reflected back. If every single human being started finding that peace within themselves, which is what is happening right now, even though it doesn't look like it, the reflection of the outside world will match that. The reflection of the outside world will look completely different to how it's looked before. So the fourth dimension, we're going from the third into the fifth dimensional state of mind. The fourth dimension is almost that bridge. We don't hang around there long in our mind, but that's where we get the choice. Are we going to choose the better feeling? Are we going to treat each other differently? Are we going to treat ourselves differently? Or are we going to stay in that old paradigm, that old draconian, archaic paradigm, where power over people was a big thing? I have power over you and you submit and you do as I tell you. I rule over you. That's old third dimensional paradigms. We can't take that with us. The other thing that is part of the third dimensional frequency is you have to rely on someone or something outside of you to survive. So I rely on this system to survive, okay? And many people, yes, they do rely on the system to survive. So for a lot of people, we're going to go, oh, this this whole system that I've relied on for a long time is crumbling in front of my eyes. Oh, what am I going to do? And what we're realizing as that is happening, we're realizing that we always had the power to survive without that outside thing. Because don't forget, the outside world is a reflection of the inner state. Okay, this is why I keep making affirmations, guys, because I'm making fifth dimensional affirmations, because those affirmations are programs that are going to run in our subconscious mind. And everything that we see around us is a reflection of our subconscious programs. It's a simulation of the programs that are rooted within our subconscious mind, but they can be changed. So what we're doing here is we're moving from a fear-based reality into a love-based reality. And a fear-based reality and a love-based reality, 3D, 5D, feel completely different. But as we transition into that new state of mind and state of being, which means that the whole world's reflection that comes back to us will be different, better, much better, unimaginably better. We have to go through that process where the things that were never ever serving us fall away and the things that were hidden from us come to light. I think you probably know what I'm talking about. We're already seeing it happening. There will be things that will shock us. But I think when you realise that there is a big shift taking place, we can understand a little bit more of why it's happening. But the most important thing to remember is the last thing that we want to be doing as we're moving into this new paradigm, which is not that far away, is turning on each other. That's the last thing we want to be doing. And the reason for that is because the only way that we will get to that state, get to that new world, which isn't physically going anywhere, is just shifting the frequency up of the mind, shifting the awareness up. The only way that we're going to do that is by being one unit and actually coming back together again as humanity instead of being separate and judging and fighting. You'll never get to the new frequency when you're still acting in those old paradigms, okay? We are very much being kept under a certain level of frequency on purpose. Humanity have been kept dumbed down because our true power, we haven't realised, you see. We've got the power to shift this whole planet just by changing our own inner paradigm. That's how it works. As within, so without. Everything is a reflection. You don't change the reflection. You come back to yourself. You see how you're seeing it in a negative way. You see how your belief systems that might be negative are playing out, and you shift those, and then the reflection will change. So imagine if the whole of humanity did that. Imagine if the whole of humanity came into a really peaceful state of mind by letting go of all of the belief systems and thoughts and feelings that no longer serve them. Imagine what the world could look like. We're doing this collectively, okay? So the most important thing is, if we all turn on each other, we are feeding into that old matrix that we're desperately trying to let go of. So anytime you're having an argument with someone over social media about what's right or wrong, anytime you're having a disagreement, anytime you're pointing fingers at judging and fighting and battling, not only with yourself but with other people, you are feeding into that old matrix, you are feeding into that old paradigm, and we're keeping ourselves in that lower level of vibration that we're trying to move away from. And once we move away from it, we see a completely different reflection. Okay? What I will say is, you all know that this is happening. It's in the collective unconscious mind. We all decided to be here on this planet from a soul level right now because we knew that there was something that we could gain from it in terms of an opportunity to grow as a soul. And also your soul knew that you've got certain gifts, talents, skills, and new ideas and new creative projects that you could share, that you could bring to the planet at this time to help with the jump shift in frequency. So remember, now is a choice point. Are you going to choose the old fear-based programs that are coming at us all the time? Or are you going to say, no, I'm just not going to go there anymore because it doesn't feel good. I'm going to keep choosing again. I'm going to keep choosing the better feeling, because it's the feeling, the thought and the feeling and the way that we see the world within will change the world without. Okay, so that is the shift that is taking place. It's been prophesied for millennia. The universe is well aware that there's a huge shift going on. There's many other planets going through this shift as well, because we're all connected in the universe. And it is a really big deal. And all I would say is we need everybody now to come together, realise that we're one. Unity consciousness is the future. And when we step into that frequency, everything will look so much better. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Bye.